out. 11 batters, guys, in just 9 2/3 innings pitched. Shannon, how great was this moment and how fantastic is Ohtani?
Skip, the last two world events, I don't know if we can get any better. You remember the World Cup, and we had Mbappe and Lionel Messi going goal for goal, and it goes extra, and we go to PK. And then you get the World Baseball Classic. You get Shohei Ohtani going up against his teammate Mike Trout. And this is what you want. You got two of the best players. Okay, what you got? Let me show you. Skip, I don't want to say, but I'm going to say, yeah, he better. Because Babe Ruth did not face for an integrated system.
He did not.
He did not face the best of the best. Because there were some black players that were really, really good that he didn't get an opportunity to face. He's facing the best black players, Latin players, whatever player there is.
And the black players were stuck in their own league.
Right, in the Negro League.
Yes.
Skip, he's historically great. He's transcendent great. Whatever you want to say is pantheon. He's to Japan what Messi is to Argentina. He's to Portugal what Cristiano Ronaldo is.
That's true.
He's that big, Skip.
Those are good examples. I agree.
I mean, he's everything. No, Skip, we don't do it. He's better than advertised. You know how they show you the trailer and they're like, ooh, man, that's like a good movie. And then you go see the movie, they say the trailer doesn't do it justice. Whatever we use to describe Ohtani, we're not doing him justice because he's so great as a pitcher. And now you go to the other side of the plate. So how many times have we ever had the best pitcher is also the best hitter? Or he's the best player? Because, Skip, sometimes you're like, well, the quarterback is not necessarily the best player, but, he's more valuable. He's value, he's best, he's everything. Will we ever see it again? I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, it took this long for us. I mean, people hear stories. Not very many people were alive to see Babe Ruth and his exploits.
Yep.
But to watch this young man at 20, Skip, if he's 24 years old, he could be the first guy to get a $500 million contract. He could literally make $50 million a year, and he'd be underpaid.
Yep.
And that's the thing, Skip, because he's in Anaheim. We don't get an opportunity to see this greatness on display like if he was in L.A., the Dodgers. If he was at, say, New York with Boston and with the Red Sox. But Skip, look what he gets, Skip. He went through Mookie Betts, MVP. Mike Trout, MVP. Goldsmith, MVP. He did that. What you want to... Skip, this is like, if I'm in the Super Bowl, I want to see Jerry Rice and I want to see Deion going head to head. Okay, baller, money on the line. We throwing the fade. What you got? Jerry, go get it. Time, knock it down. Okay, I want to see Mike Trout. I want to see Ohtani. What you got? That's what we got.
Okay. Quick point before I unleash on this. To your point, Ohtani comes in and walks Jeff McNeil to start the ninth off. And so I think, this is going to be epic finish. And all of a sudden, my man, Mookie Betts, I'm the biggest fan, and he's as clutch as they come. He just bounces it right into a tailor-made double play. And it was like, bang, bang. And all of a sudden, you're like, what just happened? And everything is deflated. And all of a sudden, I look up, and Mike Trout's at the plate, but it's now 2 outs, and nobody's on. So now it's do or die, Mike Trout. It's almost like one swing for all the marbles. What you got? All right, to Ohtani. I haven't seen this side of him when he plays for the Angels.
Right.
And I've watched him a lot.
He ain't got nothing to play for.
Okay. Well, you could make that case because he's played for him for 5 years and he hasn't played in a single playoff game or series.
Yes.
Not a single one in 5 years.
Yes.
And by the way, Mike Trout plays for the Angels and he played in one playoff series in 2014 and they got swept by Kansas City. Okay. So you got two. These are two of the all-time greatest players ever.
And they're on the same team.
They're on the same team, and this is what happens. Well, it comes down to pitching, and no pitching, right?
You can't pitch every day.
And let me just quickly get this off my chest. It wasn't quite a level playing field because too many of our Scherzers and Verlanders and our top pitchers will not participate in this because the real games are about to start in about another week.
Right.
And they're like, I'm not going to risk my arm for something that doesn't really matter. Well, it matters to us because we're watching as Americans and we're rooting for Team USA.
Right.
But they don't want to, they're not going to risk it.
Right.
The hitters are fine with it because it's actually a great ramp up to the regular season because it's just like extended BP.
Yep.
Right? Or extended is spring.
Spring training,
okay?
yeah.
So that all works. Now, to the greatness of both of these guys, despite the lack of playoff greatness, the regular season greatness is off the charts.
Yeah.
It's like nothing we've ever seen on both counts.
Right.
So that was as epic a matchup as you could get. Ohtani is so stoic during regular seasons, in part because maybe he's a Japanese player playing in the American big leagues, and he doesn't speak. It looked like last night he's starting to get a pretty good handle on English, but he still needs his interpreter.
Right.
Well, when he plays for the Angels, he just stays within himself. When he was playing for Team Japan.
Yeah, because everybody speaks his language. So he can communicate and carry on and have a good time.
And his emotions are just spilling over. Because he beat out a ground ball to first base, and he's just like safe.
Right.
And I'm like, who is that? Well, it's Ohtani playing for Team Japan.
Right.
And he said, he made a speech. They showed some of the speech before. Let's not honor them anymore. You know, we can beat them.
Right.
Let's not stand back in awe of them. I'm kind of loosely translating what he said.
Right.
But the point was, I saw him come out as a very emotional competitor last night in ways that I didn't know he had. Well, his stock in my mind went way up.
Yeah.
Okay. So now he says, I want to close this game. Well, he hadn't closed a game since 2016. That's a long time.
Right.
And you know, and I know the whole psychology of closing is so different than starting a game.
Pitcher. Yes.
And now you got to suck it up and say, this is a short spurt with all I got. There's no saving myself. It's all or nothing.
Right.
So all of a sudden, there's his teammate, Mike Trout, one of the great, statistically, he
might be he's a top 3 player statistically.
Top 3.
When you major hitting and fielding, Skip, he's Mantle.
Okay, you got it. Okay, and in 6 pitches, I thought he made Mike Trout look silly. He completely overmatched him. If we could see those 6 pitches, please, because the first one's a ball. It's a slider away at about 83 miles an hour. Here we go. Because this shows some respect. It's a little low. And then here he comes with the fastball, and he just blew it by him at 100, okay? And then here we go, fastball away and missed at 100. And here we go, another strike swing. He just swings right through it because he's late. And then we get this is a fastball low that he just overthrew at 101. And then that was it. He throws him a slider on 3-2. And it shocked me because I thought Ohtani would go, you know, this is where you got to swallow a little bit of your pride and say, I just want to win the battle. I don't need to win the macho, you know, the hand-to-hand kind of battle.
Right.
So I don't have to go strength to strength. I'm going to throw a slider on 3-2, and I'm going to throw a wicked one that you could not place it any better than he placed it. Mike Trout had no chance.
Right.
That is game over, because if you can throw that ball where you're going to cut it a little bit and you're going to throw it where you threw it, he is done, because he is gearing up trying to match 101.
Yeah, he's geared up to hit that fastball.
Yeah.
So now comes Ohtani's throwing it. Skippy, throwing it right down the plate, 100 miles an hour. And they said no matter how fast you throw it, you put it down the middle of the plate, the guy can knock it out.
Okay. So I have said, because I had the privilege of covering this man, and I know he's got his issues off the field, and we got all kinds of Balco issues with Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
I got it. I've never seen anything like Barry Bonds. As a hitter, a power hitter, an average hitter, as a fielder, won 8 gold gloves. As a base runner, because, listen, I know he got huge at the end, but when he was in Pittsburgh, he could fly.
Yeah.
I'm talking about he could steal bases with the best of them.
He got 500 steals for a career.
There you go. Okay, so all that rolled together, that was the greatest player I've ever seen. Now, all of a sudden, here comes a guy who can throw 101 miles an hour, can win games as a starter, and has incredible power. They were talking about BP, where he doesn't usually take BP. Yeah, well, he usually goes into the cage. He likes to work on his mechanics more than show off out there, show off Shohei Showtime, right?
Yeah.
But for the WBC's sake of the opposition, he went out and took swings in the cage because he wants to show you he can hit it out of literally out of the ballpark, because that's what kind of power he has. Okay, so now, not to short Babe Ruth, and it's almost like Babe Ruth didn't exist because he's even before my time. But the point is, he's so legendary that it's like he's not real. Like, was he a candy bar, Baby Ruth, or was he a guy? Did he really exist? Because
the likelihood of now you having a player have more home runs than a team is not going to happen.
No.
But that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay. So just for the record, just quickly, Babe Ruth, as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, he was there for 6 years. He was pretty great because I'm looking at, he went 89 and 46 with an ERA under 3 at 2.290. Okay. So he started 143 games. So it wasn't like he was a part-time, he was a full-time pitcher.
Yeah.
So this is way back when, but it's 1916. He led the league in ERA, in starts, and in shutouts. And in 1917, the next year, he led in complete games with 35. So he wasn't any slouch as a pitcher. He wasn't just some ordinary, to use Cam's word, random. He wasn't just a random.
Yes.
He was legit.
Yeah.
Yet he wasn't legit enough that at age 25 he gets acquired by the Yankees,
sold him.
and he just says, "I'm done.
Right.
I'll just be a power hitter for the Yankees." So he wasn't so great that they said, "Well, you got to pitch because we're going to pay you a whole lot of money."
Right.
No, we just need you to slug.
Right.
And he slugged at the highest level. And he put up some numbers that I thought were unattainable until Barry Bonds happened.
Right.
Starting in that 2000, 2001, 2002, whew,
Right.
he was destroying Babe Ruth's like on-base percentage. Records that I thought would stand forever. Barry Bonds did that.
Yeah, his slugging, it was, I mean, yeah, we won't ever see that. But Skip, this, like you said, but for him to be able to do it on the mound, I mean, he's whatever, Kershaw, Verlander at their prime pitching, and then you go back to hitting.
He is that guy in his prime because he is overmatching people on the mound, and then with that kind of power and average, and I just like to watch him hit because I used to love Ichiro, who you know, who had underrated power when he reached for it.
Right.
But this guy can hit for average and power.
Right.
So the combination of pitching and hitting, we've never seen a human do this before.
No, and you're probably not going to see it again. And like you said, Skip, you mentioned Ichiro, who was a former MVP. Hideki Matsui won the World Series MVP. Godzilla. I don't know who's bigger than, I mean, Godzilla is Japan. I don't know what's bigger than Godzilla, but he's it.
Well,
I don't know what's bigger than Godzilla in Japan, but he's it. And I can just imagine, Skip, I saw the clips of in Argentina where Messi, they found out he was at dinner. Skip, millions of people showed up to see. I bet you when he goes back to Japan, Skip, he's not, well, he probably can never go anywhere.
No.
But can you imagine the reception that he's going to get? He's mythical. He's I don't know whatever emperor or Skip these sumo wrestlers. Takano Hana and all those guys, Skip. He's that. He's better than advertised. And the only thing I hate, Skip, is going unnoticed in Anaheim. And how?
I know.
Skip, you got two of the best. Skip, it ain't no, well, he's way like 10, or Mike Trout might be the 10th best player. You got two top 5 players.
You do.
Skip, and they finished 30, 40 games under 500. How?
Pitching. Like they say about real estate, location. Got to have pitching.
Well, Skip, you got 2 hitters. I mean, they should be able to give you like 3 runs by themselves a game.
I get it. But in the end, when we picked this game yesterday at the end of the show, I told you I was going to have a hard time rooting against Ohtani because I just love watching him. I'm rooting for Team USA, but I'm kind of also hoping he has a great game. Well, he rose above our team.
Skip, look at the best that we got. Look what we had.
Oh, our lineup. You can't get more loaded.
No. And Japan got us, man.
They got us. And that's the 3rd time they've won this class.
Yeah. We was trying to do back-to-back like they did it.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's like Olympic basketball once upon a time when we figured out we can't just keep sending college kids, right?
Because they're sending pros.
Yeah. you better start sending the Kershaws and Scherzers and Verlanders.
But you're absolutely right, Skip, because here's the thing. Every one of the players, the WBC Americans, they're in the majors. Every one of those guys on Japan is not in the majors.
No. They're in their majors.
Right. They're not,
right.
But, man, Ohtani, man.
It was a pleasure to watch.
Now, if you get stuff like that, Skip, you want to make baseball, put it back on the map?
That'll do it. Yep.
Get you a couple more of those guys like that.
I think we could